All right, it is 10:54 a.m. and I think I'm ready to talk about MDMP, and it's just going to have to happen. I'm not really that upset. It just really stinks that it didn't work out here, but that's just bound to happen at some point that a morning panic bounce play just doesn't work. Or at least in this case, which has been the summary for this entire week so far. I mean, just today and yesterday that I'm not in it at the right point when it starts to make the move, so maybe I need to take longer to take an entry. But anyway, this was morning panic bounce play right here, and the main issue, the main thing I did wrong with this trade here is that I was just oversized. Just to provide a reference, with ILUS, I've been trading this one recently for morning panic bounce plays, and normally the way I calculate my dollar risk level is that, for example, this one, ILUS being a stock over 10 cents and under a dollar, I will trade 1,000 shares if I want to trade something with a $10 risk level. And, if it's a $15 risk level, I'm going to trade 1,500 shares. But the issue that, I had with ILUS is that it trades with a very small range. You can see here the bottom is roughly 12.5, and then you can see the top here is 13, so it's playing within half a penny. Very, very, very small ranges. So the issue I would have is that if I were to trade a morning panic bounce with ILUS and I'm just trading 1,000 shares, because the range it's trading in is so tiny that instead of having a $10 risk level, I trade something puny like a $2 risk level. So I need to size up. So that's been the issue, that when I got to MDMP, I traded 3,000 shares, which is a $30 risk level. So that's, already ideally the most I would put in as a dollar risk level on a morning panic bounce play. But really, I wasn't thinking that it was going to be a $30 risk level. I was just thinking it was going to be, a $10 risk level or something smaller. So what happened is that I just went over size on the setup that, actually, is something normal that doesn't trade with a very tiny range, so that, I don't have to trade larger size. So what ultimately happened here is that because I ended up with 6,000 shares, I had a $45 risk level. And then this one happened to be one that didn't work out. I had a 2% loss, just under 3%, which isn't horrible. And I was in at 934, and I was in at 1368. I think it was right here. 1368. So right here, I thought it was gonna do a level 2 reversal right here in this candle. And as you can tell, I guess not right now, but this thing actually trades with a really wide spread sometimes. So this thing became extra hard to trade, but I was in it, and then I realized, after it broke the day low very quickly, and it was trading with a large spread, I just knew that, okay, this isn't ideal, but you know, um, what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna look for another level that is trying to base, and just try one more time with the same position. And then if that doesn't work, I'm gonna get out, because sometimes you might be in a morning panic bounce play, worst case scenario, and it just keeps downtrending throughout the entire morning or whatever, and you're just out there, sizing up, sizing up, sizing up all the way down, and that's not ideal. I only try that once. So again, I was in it for that reason here, for a morning panic bounce play. It wasn't going to play off of here, although it looked like it at the time. Maybe I need to take more time to take an entry, but I did get in the same amount, 3,000 shares at 1325, and that was at 936. And that was right here, 1325. Right here, 1325 at 936. So I was in right here. And okay, it broke it one more time. I thought, all right, that really sucks. But maybe it's going to do this thing where it plays off of 13 and it dips, under it a little bit, large volume, and then it might, make a move towards the upside, which is exactly what it did. And this was very similar to IOUS yesterday, in that when it has a drop and it's trading so close to VWAP, VWAP is so close to it, it might not work out in most cases. So I had that in mind, and I was trying to get out of my position, as you can tell. Oh, and I try to trade UCPA. I'll go over that, but as you can see, I tried selling multiple times, right? But I just was not able to get filled because the thing would trade with a very wide spread, and on top of that, people would just be jumping in front of my order, which really sucks, of course. It didn't have to happen, but that's what it ended up being. And I saw this move right here. I thought, all right. I really need to be able to get out of here in the 13.4s and I'll be out for like break even basically, but I just wasn't able to get filled and that really stuck. And the really bad part of this again, because it's trading with a spread 13.46 for example, and then 13.3, which isn't that bad. I wish I could show it when it was much worse, but what really happened is that when it was right here, just under VWAP, I'm not able to get, my shares sold at the ask. It's trading with a wide spread, so ideally, I get out at the ask. A guy showed up with 113,000 shares at the ask, and I said, okay, that's really bad price action. That's probably gonna make a turn around. So at 9:42, I placed an order at the bid and I got out at 13.1. Right here, 13.1. I got out right here after seeing that, we were right at VWAP. VWAP is super close. Big seller shows up at the ask. I'm not getting filled at the ask. And now we have that big seller there. I need to get out. I placed my order at 13, and I got out at 13.1 right here. And it did get much lower. It got all the way to 12.6, and it broke under this, day low. And it did the same thing again that, it broke the day low, but just briefly, and then it turned around. But at that point, I was not really interested in trading it. Maybe in the future, I can just, take one trade separately, mentally, and just, try again with the same idea here, and then risk, the day low breaking again. Just one more try. And this one actually did make a move towards the upside ultimately, but just not very ideal the way that this one played out because of the fact that I was oversized. In theory, if I traded just 1,000 shares and then I added 1,000 shares, right, I would have lost just $7, and you can see my dollar risk level would have been 15, and that would have been pretty much ideal. So yeah, I was just oversized because I was used to, when I would trade 1,000 shares, have to trade 3 or 4,000 shares with ILUS because it trades with a very low range, and this one was just a normal one. So that was my issue there. I should have just been, sized a lot less, and that would have made it, still have been a loss because I don't really mind the way I traded it. It just didn't happen to work out when I tried selling at the ask multiple times. But yeah, I should have been sized a lot less. So that's also why I need to make sure I am sized appropriately on the setups that, I take because, I don't want to have like, just these nice trades that work out and, I'm not sized in appropriately. And then I have like something like this where I'm oversized, right? Or maybe just sized regularly and then I have to take a loss. So that's the case there. And yeah, here's my profit lead chart, right? This is where I am right now. And I'm going through like, I guess, some kind of a, psychological, maybe a psychological, or maybe like a breakout chart, but on my profit lead. But as you can see, this is when I first started in 2015. I took a break and I came back because I really like trading. And I was at that point where, I did get right here, just right at above the break-even mark, and then I had that trade where I was oversized, much worse than it was today. So if anything, that's a good step in the right direction. So I'm at the point where I might be going through like a thing where I'm trying to break past almost like a stock, this zero mark right here. And I just gotta keep going really, and just really just keep going and learn from this. Again, doesn't always happen that something like this happens that I'm not able to trade a morning panic bounce way profitably, but I need to not be oversized. With ILUS, I'll have to just, take consideration of the range that it's in and trade that one larger. But on the regular one, like MDMP pretty much was, I should have, again, in that case, sized in a lot, less what the normal amount would have been, which is 1,000 shares. So yeah, that's really all I have for here. And as for the other setups, this thing did not have volume to really, push me to consider it. This one's downtrending. This one kind of was something nice because it made a run from 81 sub penny to 90, and then it had a quick dip under VWAP and it held. But I don't like sub pennies, and it was quick, but it did offer something there. Maybe I could have traded that. This one was just crazy price action. Like the entire time this thing was uptrending, and the bid was still at like this 12.99 level, and that was ridiculous looking. Nothing with TGGI, although I guess it can try to do some kind of a breakout past 185, but there is a lot of sellers at the ask to take into consideration. And ILUS could have been a breakout buy right here. I wasn't there when this one happened. I was considering maybe the dip, over the breakout, but I didn't take that one. That one would have been actually profitable too. And yeah, so next time I get a morning panic bounce play and it's not ILUS and it seems like a normal morning panic bounce play with a normal amount of range, I need to, not be oversized. I don't mind that I lost. I don't mind the way I traded it. I tried to sell for, break even or slight profit at the ask. I just wasn't able to get filled. That happens. People jumping in at the level 2 or whatever, but I definitely should have been sized a lot less. So I'll make an update later. It really sucks, but things could be a lot worse, and I just gotta learn from this and just keep going forward. All right, it is 6:27 p.m. and I do want to go over two more trades that I had after MDMP, and I really don't regret MDMP the way I traded it, other than the fact that I just traded way too much size. It's very nice that it did ultimately turn around and it did work after I had this little stutter, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But I saw the bad price action, and no way am I gonna be like some bag holder on the day trade with a OTC. Oh, it's not going my way. Even though it, bounced off. This thing could have continued the downtrend the rest of the day, especially how it just failed this 16 level, and they could have just had an even, bigger down day. It didn't happen, and I'm glad it turned around, but I traded it well. I just feel extra salty because, I was sized in a lot more in this setup, and I think that's the most I can really say about it. The next two setups did not work either. I accidentally traded this one on my IRA, and it was like I didn't lose much, big percent loss, but I traded a very small size. I only lost $1.62, and the idea was with this one way back here at 11. And I like how this thing was having an uptrend. It's looking crazy. The volume is super massive, and I like how it had this little, breakout, this move towards the upside. And then I thought, okay, it's going to potentially try to play off of VWAP. And when it was right here at 11:55, right here, I thought this thing could have been something where that it kind of broke out of this 11:10 level, made a nice move. It came back, made another double top here, and another uptrend after it, played off of this level. So when it had a downtrend, right, ideally an entry at maybe 114 would have been better, but I like how it was VWAP and the original breakout level, if you ask me, and then it had to move towards the upside. But I knew that this could be a top. And what I did was that I wanted to trade 50 shares that have a $5 dollar risk level. And because we were up here, I thought, okay, with the way it's trading at the moment, if this thing makes a move towards the upside, I'm gonna feel pretty bad. So let me just go in half my position here, and if it makes a move towards the upside, great. At least I was a part of it. But if it makes a move towards the downside, I'm going to get the other 25 shares, as long as it's some kind of a dip buy and it's showing some kind of a sign that it, didn't just hit a bottom and it's going to continue to break below it, but something that's probably going to turn around and it's showing signs of that. So again, I was in half my position here at 11:55, and yeah, it didn't work. There was just immediate massive selling, just maybe this, right? Just pure red print, and it just downtrended, and my risk level was right around this VWAP level. If it were to have broken under it, I wouldn't have liked it that much. And because of the way it was just downtrending and downtrending, it didn't look like it was trying to hold and turn around for the other 25 shares. So I just cut the trade at 11:59, which was right. Let me see if I can make it look better. 11:59 was right here, basically when it got to the point that it broke this VWAP level, and I got out at one, I guess 112, 111 and a half. It just didn't work out. Maybe you can say it did like an inverse head and shoulders here, shoulder head shoulder. Perhaps I do see this, that I'm on the right track, right? But it didn't work when I got in. This was a different setup, but I probably need to do that. Like if it doesn't work when I got in, but it looks like it's trying to do it at a new level or maybe some other setup, I should maybe consider that, because it seems like that's what's making me miss out from the setups that do play out more often than not. And then I did try HMBL. The only reason why I consider this consolidation dip buy was because it worked the other day. As you can see, it had a sell-off right the other day and it consolidated, and then it made a move from this 13 level to 13 and a half. It didn't get much further. It didn't like break VWAP, but it did something very similar today, in that it broke under, then it was trading and consolidating, and I thought, all right, I normally want to take a setup like this, so I actually traded this with a $5 risk level, very tiny for an OTC setup, just because of the fact I don't really like the setup that much, but it did it yesterday. So I did buy HMBL at what is it, 236? Yeah, 236. Right here I was long 236 in this candle right here, and I got in at the bid, which was 11.9, so that was a pretty good entry in terms of that. And my theory was that if it was going to break the range low, which was like give or take 11.85, I'm going to get out immediately. And I had a cut losses quickly. What else can I say? The setup didn't work out. It downtrended. I think at the very end of this candle minute right here, I placed my sell order. I got out at 11.78, and I think I lost like I don't know. I think I lost like $2.20. Very small loss. Um, that was the case with that. I'll put the ultimate number as to how much I'm down today, which, it really sucks, but I was just oversized on that setup. Maybe I will just consider trading larger on morning panic bounce plays, especially now that, I had one that didn't work out. So rarely they don't, work out. What's the chance that the next one isn't going to work out either? It can totally happen, but yeah, really sucked today. It really did, but I traded MDMP the best that I could. I didn't do anything wrong with that other than the fact that I just had too much size. And I think I need to get better with the math, calculating my dollar risk level and how many shares I should have. Again, because of the fact that IOUS doesn't really trade with a massive range, although today is a bit nicer. That was the case. I was just sized in too much. That's all I have for today.